I'm Oral Hershiser, and I am on the Blue Review.
Mhm.
Hey, this is Sean Green. You're watching the Blue Review.
Bam, bam,
Ba-da-da,
bam,
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 bam.
bam.
Ring. That is a biggie for a team that is on a heater right now. The Dodgers get another win, a big one over the Colorado Rockies, 15-6, the final score, a game that wasn't even that close. Uh, but another great win. The Dodgers, Greg, the last couple of nights doing what they're supposed to do, namely beating up on a bad team.
Yeah, just scoring a lot of runs is the big part of it that I just like. I also don't like the position player anymore, but we can have a different discussion about that. Pitching,
That's
by
gonna
the
be
way, the pitching, not just the position player. The position player
That
pitching.
seemed to be a theme last night as I was sort of scrolling social media with people talking about the game, so we can get into that as well. First, I want to let you know that the Blue Review is powered by LAX. From practice to prime time, the all-electric LAX Skylake is being put through its paces in testing, getting ready to deliver reliable and traffic-free airport experience. For more information, visit lawa.org/ESPN. So, the Dodgers have now won 5 in a row. And what is that? 13 or 10 of the or 13 of the last 15, right?
13, yeah, 13-2.
13 of their last 15. And at the same time, have opened up a 3.5 game lead over the Padres in the National League West. The Padres kind of scuffling right now. But the big story of the night to me was Mookie Betts.
Mook!
Struggling in a huge way. They moved him down to the number 4 spot in the lineup, and Greg, all he did was hit 2 home runs and drive in 5 runs. So I'm not saying Mookie is fixed, but man, that felt really good last night.
That felt really good, and you could see it in his swing the entire time. I love listening. These are the moments when, like, there's certain moments I really love Oral Hershiser on the broadcast because he talks about the pitching and he got like the little intricacies for Yamamoto, Shohei, everybody. But when Eric Karros is on is actually it was on the broadcast, he talks about the intricacies of hitting, and I think that they're really really interesting. And I thought he did a great job of it with Stephen Nelson last night, talking about how Mookie, you could see it in his hands that he's getting his hands up higher, and then instead of because when he was coming in, he had them low, and you just keep him low, and he was kind of bringing them up and was keeping them at a higher pace so that he was able to swing through the ball and get more loft. It's really interesting to hear it from major league players, and it just felt good. I'm sure it had to feel good for Mook. And I got people on my timeline yesterday being like, that kind of looked like a pop-up that just carried. Bro, getting a ball out of Dodger Stadium is hitting a home run at Dodger Stadium. It is not typically known as a hitter's park. So getting that ball out is probably, I don't know the number of stadiums it would be a home run in, but it's a lot of them, I would assume, especially in that left center spot.
I mean, it's like saying a 3-pointer that went it off the rims like that looked like a brick that just got a good bounce. All right, I mean,
Oh,
still
you didn't
counts.
call bank.
Counts the same, like especially for a guy who's been struggling the way Mookie has for the last year plus. No, that was great to see him really get going again, and hopefully this kickstarts something, right? I'm not going to pretend that having a good night against Kyle Freeland and the Rockies offense is going to be necessarily the thing that makes you okay for the rest of the year. But I do think having that confidence and seeing the ball leave and seeing some results goes a long way. And that was the thing that, there have been a lot of bad swings from Mookie Betts. There have been a lot of really frustrating pop-ups, but there had also been a lot of hard hit balls that just had bad luck, that were just finding people's gloves, a lot of diving stops on the infield and that sort of thing. So hopefully, one, he's actually getting his swing back regulated again, but also hopefully some of the batted ball luck is starting to even out. I know that Dave Roberts said he's going to stay in the 4 slot at least again today. Does this mean, I won't say a permanent change, but could we see this for a little while now because we've seen success?
Yeah, I mean, I don't see why not. I mean, he had some success last year when they moved him to the 4 spot, remember? So maybe this is just a better placement for him on this specific team. And especially if Andy Pajes continues to do what he did in the 2nd spot. I mean, then maybe you're starting to find what that rhythm of a lineup is fully capable of being. You did mention it. I agree with it, is you got to take the Rockies with a grain of salt. You got to take Kyle Freeland with a grain of salt. Not really what you would call a high level pitcher anymore. He started his career off as actually being a good pitcher for the Rockies, but last couple of years he's been a mess, and he's continued to be a mess this year. So we'll see what it like. Let's see it happen a few more times, and maybe against some other teams, against the Phillies. That will be if that continued to hit against the Phillies. Maybe you'd be like, okay, this is something that can really they can hang their hats on. But that's what the hope is, that this is now, it's always finding a good lineup construction is so hard, Marcus, as we know. And it seems like if this works, it's an understandable, like, oh, that looks good.
So the other part of that is Mookie Betts moving out of the number 2 slot, dropping down to 4. And Andy Pages got his shot in the cursed 2 slot. Yesterday afternoon, when I talked to you, you were all ready to make a big announcement, a big proclamation about a potential villain. Seems like overnight that went up in smoke.
It's gone. I can't even do it. And I've come to the realization. So what you're saying is basically, I was going to go with Mookie Bet. I was going to go with the 2 spot as my villain. It wasn't going to be a player. It was just going to be the 2 spot, because Mookie failing, Freddie failing, Tucker failing in that 2 spot. It just was a cursed spot. And there was actually a guy on YouTube that was like, that's the cursed spot. I'm like, oh, I like that. That's what I'm going to do. It was on YouTube. It was DY. I don't remember what it was, but thank you for the opinion on that. And it's gone. Like, I think, Marcus, I just don't have a villain this year, and that's okay. Yeah. And that's okay. But I don't have one currently.
Yeah, I mean, Andy Pages last night from the number 2 spot, 4 for 5, 3 runs batted in, had the home run, scored 3 times. It was just a day out of that spot. Yeah, I'd have to go back and look. I suspect it might be the best day a number 2 hitter has had for the Dodgers this season.
By far. I can't imagine anybody has had a better day in the 2 spot,
because it's been brutal getting any kind of production from that spot in the order. So Andy Pages, at least for one night, again, #Rockies, for one night, figured it out and got it done. Continuing to stay hot, by the way. I mean, I don't know what Liam Hicks, I think, was the other RBI leader in baseball. I don't know what he did yesterday, so I don't know if Pages has taken over that lead or not, but he's up there. He's definitely up there near the top of the list when it comes to runs batted in this year, and on track to be an all-star. If Andy Pages is not an all-star this year, then we just need to do away with the game. I don't know.
Andy Pages has 49. CJ Abrams has 46. Okay. That is just for the National League. So let me get it for the.
Okay. But Andy Pages continuing to stay hot.
He's still number 1. 49.
Still number 1. There it is. All right. So cool. So again, maybe we got something here. These are Pages' numbers of hitting .299, 12 homers, 49 runs batted in, and .883 OPS. Again, if he's not an all-star, then we need to scrap this whole thing.
They're doing it wrong. And if he's not an all-star, they're basically saying it's a Dodger thing. We just don't want more Dodgers in there, because you're still gonna, like, Shohei's gonna be in there, and honestly, he's not even having the type of year to be an all-star so far on the hitting side as he is on the pitching side. So it's going to be interesting with that. But by far, he has to be the leading vote getter from in the outfield position.
You would think so.
He's been fantastic, both sides, offensive and defensive.
Yeah. So we'll see. But yeah, he should absolutely be in the All-Star game this year. Some bad news out of last night. Kike Hernandez, who was on fire since coming off the injured list, had a couple hits last night, including a home run, but had to leave the game with what is being called an oblique strain. You could see it when he hit his double. They showed the replay. You could see him grimace as he comes out of the batter's box. And even on second base, his wiggle was not quite as
wiggly.
Not as wiggly as it normally would be. And you could see in the dugout later him just being really dejected and upset. And so in an oblique strain, he's on the 10-day IL. Alex Freeland is going to be recalled from Oklahoma City. Not really a big surprise there, but Greg, it's just a huge disappointment for a guy who waited all this time to finally get back on the field, had 2 pretty good games, really good games at the plate, and now he's going to have to sit out for a while.
Yeah, I mean the guy was 4 for 4 and he had 3 extra base hits. He was destroying the ball. It was really nice to see. It was like, oh hey, Kike's back. This is the Kike we know. And then obviously he's with this oblique strain. He's going to be out for a little bit. Hopefully, Dave is saying that it's not season ending by any means. It's just on the 10-day IL. Just kind of it's something. But oblique strains, those tend to last a pretty decent amount of time. I mean, Mookie is just coming off an oblique strain. Max Muncy has had oblique strains multiple times. These are injuries that kind of take you out for a little bit. So we'll see what Alex Freeland can do. What's interesting about the Alex Freeland portion, the Fabian Ardaya was reporting that Alex Freeland was already on his way up to be with the Dodgers, and it was going to be for Ha-Seong Kim. They were going to make that switch. Now, with this not happening, you get a little bit more time with Ha-Seong to see what he can do. But yeah, I'm really sad for Kike because it was really nice to see him come back so strong.
Yeah, I know after the broadcast and the post-game show yesterday, Nomar was saying that you never really know with oblique strains that he had one in his career. He's like, sometimes they take 3 months, sometimes they take a couple of weeks. The real trick is just to make sure that you are taking it slow, that you don't try to rush the rehab, because then you can aggravate it, make it worse, and then you're out a really long time. So fingers crossed this is not a serious one. It seemed like something, I think, in fact, even Kike, said after the game that he kind of felt a little something at the start of the day, tried to play through it. I think after that big swing, that was when he realized he just couldn't keep going. So hopefully this is not a really serious thing and we can see him back on the field soon, because it just stinks that he had to work so hard to get back, only to be able to play 2 games, and then he's going to be out again.
Yeah. So before, just to kind of wrap that up, those are kind of things that you can't do as a professional. Like, I understand why they do, and he just came back. But if you had felt something before, you can't. That's when you have to go say something to somebody, because then this is what happens. I mean, this is a telltale reason why you go and say when you're injured as a ball player. I get why they don't. Everybody wants to be out there. They want to play through it. But he sat there. He just went. There was a whole article about from Neil Elatraj saying that his knee was one of the worst that anybody's ever seen, and he played through it last year. And that then Kike FaceTimed Andrew Friedman saying, this is what Neil Elatraj is saying this, and he had him say it to Andrew Friedman. This is why you have to bring me back next year, because I put it all on the line. I played through this for you, like obviously messing around with him. But like, you played through it last year. It's still May. You don't have to play it through it this year. You can wait a little bit longer or just get the day off to see if there's anything going on. I understand why they didn't, because Max Muncy was taking just wanted another day. He was going to be in the lineup today anyway, and he came in as a defensive replacement late yesterday. But like, if you know there's something wrong, you got to say something and not play. Like, there's always ways around these things. So I don't know. Those are Ha-Seong Kim could have played there. They could have been Rojas the third. There's a lot of different things that could have happened.
Yeah. So again, hopefully it's not a serious one, that maybe they were able to sort of catch things early and it won't be a long absence for Kike Hernandez. Want to talk about Eric Lauer, because goes 6 innings, gives up 1 run, gives up the home run to Hunter Goodman, 4 hits, 1 walk, 4 strikeouts. Again, we keep saying it's the Rockies, right? So there's not a huge takeaway from it, and it definitely helps when you get all the run support that he did. Part of me was laughing because Yoshinobu Yamamoto had to be like, he just got here, and you're scoring all these runs for him.
Yeah.
I mean, I'm not going to make any big proclamations about Eric Lauer, but it was a nice start for his Dodger career. He did what was asked of him. There's nothing about it that blew me away, but he did exactly what was asked of him. He kept the ball mostly in the ballpark. He got outs. He got them through 6 innings. Hat tip for that.
Yeah, full on hat tip. And maybe it's because he didn't have an opener for him. I don't know. I know that's a whole controversial thing he said with the Blue Jays, but at the same time, like, of course, no pitcher wants an opener going in first. They want to start the games. That's how they're a starter. This is how they came up playing the game. But either way, he was good. He was as good as you could have imagined he would have been. I mean, he was always a good pitcher, but kind of been all up and down. And I loved Steven Nelson talking about his road yesterday and where he went to. He was in he was in San Diego. He was in Pittsburgh. He was in Milwaukee. He had some good years in Milwaukee. Then he couldn't get. Then he's signing 10 days, or he was signing minor league contracts, different places. Sorry, this is basketball. Signing minor league contracts, couldn't get anywhere. He went over to the KBO. He had a decent year, not great year in the KBO. Came back and was really important for the Blue Jays last year. And then just going to find his way over here as another reclamation project for Andrew Friedman. And he pitched well. Now, the way he pitches, I can't imagine he's not going to get smacked around a few times. Like, he's going to have outings that are not going to go well. He throws a 92-mile-per-hour fastball that doesn't have a lot of movement, and he was throwing a curveball. The curveball looked good. It just, if that's what everybody is, you're expecting that. I can see why he had a 6 ERA in Toronto, and I can imagine that this was an outlier. Now, I hope not. I hope I'm wrong, and this turns out to be a good stretch for his career, and he goes back to who he was in Milwaukee. But yeah, I can see. Let's be happy with this outing is the way that I would put it.
Yeah, I think that's probably fair, and I think everybody pretty much knows the situation with Eric Lauer. He is in Los Angeles for the short term, right? Yeah. He's there to eat some innings, to take some starts until guys like Tyler Glasnow, Blake Snell, et cetera, get back and are able to reclaim their spot in the rotation. So who knows? This could mean 3 starts, 5 starts, 6, 7 starts. Who knows? But basically, Eric Lauer's job is to just sort of hold things together until the rest of the guys get back and start to be able to pitch again, to start again for the Dodgers.
Yeah, Glacier in a Hat says, is he this year's James Paxton?
So this is two days in a row I've heard a James Paxton reference. Travis Rogers made one yesterday. Again, talking about Eric Lauer and how the Dodgers always find some random arm to take a few starts for them midway through the season, and he mentioned James Paxton. So 2 days
James
in a row.
Paxton, by the way, was like perfect through 5 or 6 games where you're like, wow, James Paxton not giving up runs and pitching really well, and then he started getting shelled, and they're like, okay, bye.
Yeah, okay, that's all right.
It's time for you to go.
We survived long enough. Since we're talking about pitching, in the text chat, there was some understandable frustration. Miguel Rojas, they bring him in the 9th inning. The game's 15-1. It's pretty much out of hand, but it also sort of dragged on because Miggy couldn't get outs. He ends up giving up 5 runs, actually has the bases loaded when the game finally ends on a fly ball to deep center field.
That could have made it a 15-10 game. They still would have won, but that means that Paul Gervais would have come in and all that. But
yeah, I mean, Paul Gervais was up and warming in the bullpen just in case. And I know you expressed your frustration with the position players pitching. I saw a lot of that, from Dodger fans on social media last night. I think just baseball fans in general. That's like, okay, this is sort of gone far enough now that let's just bring in a real pitcher. Let's get these final 3 outs and let's go home, because at this point it's not doing anybody any good. Like it's dragging games out. You run the risk of guys getting hurt because they're making more plays. It's probably just time that for a lot of teams to just say, all right, look, somebody's just got to eat some runs at this point.
Honestly, and the only thing I liked about that, the graphic that Tim just played there, it was Kyle Karros hitting a home run and Eric Karros being up in the booth calling that and saying, "I'm going to give you a hug, Miggy." That was like, he was so happy that Miggy gave up a home run to his son. And apparently, if I heard it right, Kyle Karros has like 4 home runs, and they're all against the Dodgers.
Wait, I know he has 2 of them against the Dodgers.
I think it was like 3 of 4 of his home runs, or all 4 of his home runs, whatever it was most of them were against the Dodgers. And it was just kind of funny that that's what he does. But to go back to the Miggy Rojas thing, I'm just tired of it. I don't need to see this anymore. I understand. And I put this on social media and I got a lot of slack for it. And I even said, I get that it's to save arms. It's to save guys like Gervais's arm and maybe use him the next day, or not burn an arm, whatever it happens to be. I get it. I get the reason for it. I get that it's not entertainment anymore at 15-1. But you know what is entertainment? Going to bed and not having to sit through and watching all this. Even if he went 3 up and 3 down, I just don't need to see a position player pitching anymore. It's not novel. It's not entertaining. It's not interesting. There's nothing about it in the game that is good outside of being just a frustration and putting a bad end to a game that was kind of fun. Look, I said it's not entertaining. I get the thought that to save the bullpen, but it's not a good watch. It's just not a good watch. And I get that at 15-1, it still is. There's not really much entertainment to have at that point. But this made it not even worse. Seeing him give up almost 9 runs, it was just a mess, and I don't need to see it anymore. I got tired of Kike doing it. It was funny at first because of the hat, like the helmet that he had, the half helmet. It was funny when Rojas did it last year, and he was like doing the different pitch styles of Yamamoto and Shohei and doing all that. I'm done. I have no interest in seeing it anymore in any sense.
Yeah, I mean, I think it's just. When they changed the rules about pitching and they made it a little bit more lenient, we started to see it more where managers were just waving the white flag and trying to save their bullpens and that sort of thing. And yeah, I understand that, but I think there's a point where it just really is not. It's not useful. It's your point. It's not fun. Let's just get out of here. At some point, like last night, the Rockies weren't going to do much of anything. You put in Paul Gervais. Sure, maybe they get a hit or two. Maybe they even scratch out a run. But, it doesn't drag on. And at some point, you just worry because you could see the Dodgers try to get that last out, right? So you got Andy Pages hustling all over the field. You got them trying to dive and make plays. Just you risk guys getting hurt. So I think I'm kind of with you on this one.
Why didn't Jonathan Hernandez go a third inning? He threw 31 pitches. He couldn't go another 10, 15 pitches if it took that much. And then I don't get it. I don't see what the point of it is. And, I'm fully over. And imagine, Marcus, what happens if Kyle Hurt had not given up a home run yesterday?
Right. If that was how the bullpen streak ended.
If they were at 40 innings and they a scoreless and they bring in Miggy and he gives up 5 runs.
Yeah, that would have. I was going to ask, like, there should be like an asterisk on that. Like, they're bullpen runs, but not really. Yeah,
well, it's like a quarterback throwing interception that gets tipped off of a hand. It's not his fault,
but it still counts.
Still counts.
Yeah. Game 3 of the series between the Dodgers and Rockies is tonight, 7:10 first pitch time. Shohei is expected to pitch. He did take a pitch off the hand yesterday, at which point Dave Roberts was like, all right, that's enough. The score was already pretty lopsided. Knowing Shohei had to pitch today, Dave Roberts decided to pull him from the lineup, put Dalton Rushing in. The question, though, is whether or not Shohei is going to hit. And I don't know if we have a definitive answer on that yet, Greg. I think he was going to hit until he got plunked on the hand yesterday. Now it seems like it's an open question whether or not he hits tonight.
Yeah, Dave is not sure anymore. He was planning on him playing both ways, but hitting and pitching. And now it seems like, well, I don't know. And it was funny on the broadcast, Eric Karros, again, they were talking about the pad on his hand. And Eric Karros goes, that's a really big pad. I was going to say it was a big ass pad, and he caught himself. But they're saying that there's nothing to be thought about. They're not even going to do any extra testing on it. There's nothing there. It hit the pad, and that was it. And so he should be fine. It's just now they're just not sure. I'm hoping that he still does hit tonight because he probably should still hit tonight. But I can see them saying, you know what, it's the Rockies. Just pitch. You did get a hit. Let's just not worry about that, and we'll start it up. We'll start you back up then.
Especially because Thursday is an off day too.
Right.
So it's like, hey, just give him. If that's what it comes down to, he can pitch tonight. Don't worry about hitting. Everybody gets the day off tomorrow to rest to get ready for a big weekend series against the Phillies because the Phillies are playing really good baseball right now.
Yeah. They're above 500 now, right?
I believe they are. Yeah. And they're
because they won the last 2 against the Padres.
They are. They're a game over 500. still a good sizable gap between them and the Braves right now, but they're playing a lot better since Don Mattingly took over as the interim manager there. So,
but I mean, they're cursed now, right? Like there's no way they're winning a World Series since Don Mattingly.
Since Don Mattingly is the manager, yeah. Well, I mean, right now they just got to worry about getting back in playoff contention. I think that's step one before they even think about a World Series there in Philadelphia. So we'll see. Anyway. Dodgers Rockies tonight, game 3 of that series, and we will talk about it tomorrow. But for us, that'll do it. Stick around for the Sedano and Cap morning extravaganza. Thanks to everybody in the chat for hanging out with us. Thanks to Tim for production assistance. By the way, shout out to our pal Carlo, who had a new
addition. Carlo.
Congratulations. He and his wife just had a baby boy over the weekend, so shout out to Carlo for that. Anyway. That'll do it, though, for this edition of the Blue Review presented by LAX. For Greg, I am Marcus. We'll see you tomorrow, 6:30 to 6:55 here on the ESPN LA YouTube channel. See you.
See you.